So what keeps the United States from developing its own ethanol industry, just as Brazil has? Well, nothing except money and time, and some believe more ethanol-producing crops. In this country, corn continues to be the predominant ingredient in ethanol, and some question whether we can even grow enough of it to meet both our food and energy needs. Well, as the United States increases corn-based ethanol production, corn prices could be on the increase, which according to the USDA's chief economist Keith Collins, could have a ripple effect all across farm country.
As ethanol demand continues to grow, we're going to see corn prices rise. Corn price increases will bid land into corn production. Some of that will come from other crops like soybeans. Some of it might even come from land that's gone out of production.
And it's estimated the U.S. will produce 5 billion gallons of ethanol this year, and that should grow to 10 billion gallons by 2010. So what will that mean for our nation's farmers? Well, joining me now is Michael Krueger, the founder and president of the grain marketing firm called The Money Farm. So, Mike, how much of an impact do you believe corn-based ethanol is going to have on our ag economy?
Well, it's dramatically changing the dynamics of the corn market. For example, just a few years ago, we used 500 or 600 million bushels of corn in ethanol production, and this year we're up to 1.6 billion bushels. Estimates are that within a couple, 2 or 3 years, we'll be up to 3 billion bushels, which at that point would be 25% of our corn crop.
So then what is fueling all of this new demand?
It's been a combination of things. Certainly the passage of the energy bill a year or two ago now mandates the use of ethanol in fuels with the renewable fuel standard, and it looks like actually the industry is on pace to exceed the requirements in the energy bill, and that's partly because the margins have been so good to these ethanol plants that they're building more plants more quickly, trying to get them online. And of course the other thing is that oil has gone to $70 or $75 a barrel, which makes everything more interesting, makes the margins better, makes people want to use ethanol to try to reduce the price of gasoline.
Now, is it ever a concern, now that we have this increased demand for ethanol, if we have a short crop, we could then see the price of corn-based food shoot through the roof?
Well, I think that there's no question that the market has become a lot more sensitive over the last year to the size of the corn crop. I think this ethanol expansion has happened much more quickly than anyone expected. Margins are so good, as we mentioned earlier, that expansion is going to continue, and it means that we need big crops. In fact, we need almost record crops on an annual basis, and the time that we don't have a very good crop, if we have drought or yield concerns, we could see corn prices escalate very quickly.
And I know that there's some that are concerned that estimates of future corn production could be overly optimistic.
The National Corn Growers Association has said that they're not concerned about not having enough corn to satisfy both the feed or the consumer market and the ethanol market, because the advances in plant genetics for corn are moving so quickly that they think we could potentially have a 20 bushel yield increase in the next 4 or 5 years. There are those out there who say that may be stretching it, that we've had great advancements in the seed varieties for corn, but maybe that yield curve starts to slow a little bit.
So what will consumers see from all of this?
I think a couple of things. I think, first of all, as the ethanol continues to expand and continues to be blended in gasoline, assuming that the price for ethanol finally softens a little bit, it should mean eventually lower prices for gasoline at the pump and lower requirements for imported oil. On the food side, though, we're going to see continued competition between energy and food markets, not just for corn for ethanol, but also for vegetable oils that are going to be rapidly increasing in the use of biodiesel production.
Mike Krueger, an ag analyst and founder and president of The Money Farm.